Morning everyone. This will be a quick video aiming to help you identify the dynamic verbs in a sentence and gain an understanding of how they work. This video will be part of a series of short videos looking at the different types of verbs. I'll put a link in the description to the other videos, as well as a link to the slides which you can download for free if you want them. I'd suggest watching the video that explains what verbs are first and then coming back to this one. And there are lots of different types of verbs, some of which are listed here, but this isn't even a full list. There are many more types such as non-finite verbs and infinitive verbs and more. And we're just going to focus on one of these today. Today's verb will be the dynamic verb. And first off, if I were to ask you to name me a verb, most people would probably give me a word to do with movement, such as run, skip, or hop, or something like that. Those types of words, verbs to do with movement, are called dynamic verbs. And they're probably the easiest to identify in a sentence. These are your typical doing words. They describe an action. Take the sentence, "The man walked into the room." We know from our knowledge of nouns that the man and the room are both nouns. Check out the series on nouns if you didn't already know that. And the only word to do with movement in that sentence is walked. So this is clearly the dynamic verb. We can also pull a lot of inferences from the dynamic verbs. For example, if the man crept into the room, we could look at the connotations of the dynamic verb. Crept has got connotations of stealth and secrecy, whereas if the man raced into the room, we can look at the connotations of the dynamic verb raced and infer that he was rushing or maybe in desperation for something. The only word that changes here is the dynamic verb, and dynamic verbs are ripe for connotations. Pause the video and see how many dynamic verbs you can pick out from the box on the right. And the answers are colour-coded here. You can mark this one yourself. A key thing to note with verbs is that the type of verb can change depending on the context of the sentence. It's also worth noting that phrases such as stand up are classed as dynamic. However, they are also classed as phrasal verbs. Watch the video on phrasal verbs to learn more about them. If you want to challenge yourself, try and identify the dynamic verbs in this extract from The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. And that is dynamic verbs in a nutshell. Try adding dynamic verbs to your revision cards and add them into your next analysis to boost your marks. Thanks for watching and happy revising.